What's going on, everybody? This is Hayden coming at you with Season 2 of the Pernosophy Podcast, a show about life science and philosophy. On today's episode, the first episode of Season 2, we're going to be talking about the COVID-19 crisis that's obviously sweeping the entire globe, but we're going to be talking about more this great opportunity that a lot of us have now. Not saying that this is a great thing that's going on with everybody in the entire collapse that's coming about due to this pandemic, but there's always silver linings in all types of negativities, and especially a crisis such as bad as this. I guess I should start, though, by just talking briefly why I want to get this show started again. I sort of found that during maybe mid to late last year, I was getting a little bit demotivated to recording this and setting up all my equipment and all that kind of stuff, and it just got a little bit too time consuming for me, because first I think about the topic and I sort of plan what I might like to attack, and write some dot points out, and just sort of stay inside a certain topic. If you've listened to any episodes prior to this, you would notice that a lot of the time I do branch off into other realms. But what happened was I was taking too much time by planning the episode and then recording the episode, and then I would have to go ahead and edit it and then put it all together, and it just became this too time consuming, where I just sort of lost the motivation to get it done. But as you can see, I've sort of got this new setup. I've got a nice microphone stand here, and so it's just going to be a little bit easier for me to spin it around and just hit the record button and just get going. And so with that said, let's see if I can break that initial goal of having 100 episodes for this podcast. And yeah, so let's get back to the topic of the day. And today, I just want to talk about this opportunity that a lot of us have inside this crisis. So this sort of intermission in all our lives, where we've stopped everything that we were doing, and everything's changing. All these rules are changing. All these people that were inside secure jobs and thinking, hey, like I'm okay, like my job's going to be fine. Like I work with these people, and they're always needing to be looked after. But a lot what's going on, obviously, is if you're following the news, if you're being affected by this crisis, that you're seeing that no one's really left alone by this virus. A lot of people are getting hit, no matter what career they're in, no matter what locale they're in, and it's quite traumatic. I myself went through this collapse of when the fitness industry really actually collapsed. Like all the gyms were closing around the entire globe. So all these people, all these trainers and physiotherapists, everybody that's involved in the health and fitness industry were suddenly without work, because there was no hands-on, and you weren't allowed to be in, the 1.5 meter distance range. And so like for me personally, like it was quite a bit of a surreal experience. I sort of didn't know what was going on. It's like, well, shit, like that's all happening now. Like, and it means like we can't go to work. Like it's now illegal to leave your house. And with, after running a business for coming up to 11 years, like it just becomes, it's really confronting. All of a sudden your whole world's flipped upside down, and you can't plan for this. Obviously you can plan with like online stuff and keeping a base going on there, but for a lot of people that work in the health and fitness industry, we like that kind of personal interaction. We like being around people and that energy and the music on and everyone talking and having a good time, drinking coffee and whatnot, and of course exercising. But that is not, you can't find that on the internet. You can't find that online. So that was one thing why so many people are suddenly without work inside this industry, and many others that are dealing with people face to face. It's sort of, yeah, like you can do online, but it's not really something that a lot of people want to do. And so for me personally, when it happened, like, and it was, I remember it being like a Sunday where it was being announced on the news, and it was like, yeah, Australia's going to go into this lockdown. And come Monday, we all were at work, and we're all just standing around going, oh, is this it? Like, this is it? Like, goodbye, everybody. And, a couple of days that go by, and then it slowly started to fade away. And it was, the rules just kept changing. So it was like your group settings of less than 100 people were okay. And then it became less than 10. And then, 2 nights later, it was like less than 2 only. And it just, the requirements or the restrictions just kept elevating. And so all of a sudden, a lot of people I know, and obviously industries and careers and all types of jobs that, like I said earlier, like a lot of people thinking they're secure in their job, all of a sudden gone, all of a sudden it's just completely flipped. And I'm sure you listening or watching have been affected in some way. Maybe if your job's fine, you are able to work from home, you know somebody, or the rest of your family has been affected completely. And it's a complete turnaround for all our lives. But like I said, like there is a silver lining in types of crises like this. And as negative it has been for this particular global pandemic, where thousands, millions of people are being affected by this, we can still find a little bit of, like it's that sliver of hope, or that little bit more, a little change in our direction once we sort of go through that stage of, disbelief and being confronted with this surreal situation. We sort of, disbelief, and then we come to terms with it. And obviously we go through these anxiety-ridden, depressive sort of moments. But, you can come out the other side when you start to implement tiny little changes where I'm just going to put 30 minutes into my day where I just focus on this thing that I haven't been able to do all these years. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about here, is that, using this intermission where we have this basically a pause of all our lives where you are stuck at home and you have this almost free time, and if not entirely free time, where you're able to work on some things that you have been putting off for so long. Even it might come down to just reading that book that you were like, I got to read that book, man. Like I see it on the shelf every day and I just never pick it up. But now is a good time to do those kinds of things. And especially for those that have always wanted to work on a particular project, or sort of invest more time into their hobbies, engage in their hobbies a little bit more, even build their relationships a little bit stronger. There's so many moments now in most of our lives where we can set aside 10 minutes, 20 minutes, up to an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you've got, where you can begin to use that time to sort of cash in on this intermission that we're all living through. So, there's all that talk as well about how, we got to be grateful for what we have. And, so many of us are stuck at home. Yeah. But, we also have the roof over our heads. We've got a pillow to sleep on each night, and we've got food in the fridge. And if we run out, we're able to, go out and buy some more. It's not completely negative. Obviously, this is stupid to compare to previous times in human life where like wars have affected the entire globe and all those kinds of things. And so, it really is a good time to just slow everything down and just sort of narrow your focus and come to terms with, or just recognize, that what you can actually be grateful for in your life, and just giving yourself that time to go through those stages of disbelief or anger even, and just everything that comes about from all of us going through this crisis. And that's also another thing. It's like we're all in this together. We're all going through it together. We're able to get through this if we stick together and, reach out to your friends and family and make sure you don't slip too much. And that on top of that, it's like not being regretful when you waste your day or spend too much time on one thing and just go, oh man, I just feel a little bit guilty for watching 8 episodes of that show. I should have just watched 4. I should have stopped when I knew, it's giving yourself that time to go through the cycles and go through the processes to just come out on the other side where you start to be a little bit more wise with your time, and you break your day down more, you schedule some things in that you want to be doing with your life. And because it'll come to the point where we get to the other side of all this, and you don't want to look back and be like, man, I had 2 to 3 months to work on that. Why did I not do anything? And that's going to be, for me, like that's kind of like one of my fears. It's like I don't want to get to the end of this and be like, I did nothing with my time. Like I had all this time where I was stuck at home I had all this time to be able to do things, and I didn't do anything. And so hopefully, like if anybody's listening to this, that this rings true to them, hopefully this is maybe just that little one more voice in the back of their head where they're like, yep, I should probably, set aside 20 minutes tomorrow and just work on that thing that I've been doing, because we will come out the other side and life will not be how it used to be. Go back 3 to 6 months and life will not be how you knew it. There'll be a huge change in the economy, and just even, travel regulations, and like people's jobs that have been lost, like that the person that, saved up all their money and finally opened that restaurant and now it's closed, and they're in their 60s and there's no chance they'll ever open it again. There's going to be so many economical and social alterations that we were also used to 3 to 6 months ago. Even how we get our products, there's going to be probably some changes going on with how we trade, where we buy from. Like, there's going to be people online that go, I don't want to buy from this certain place anymore. Like, who knows where it's been or whatever. Even walking down the street's going to be a little bit different for a lot of people for a long time, where they do keep their distance, and there'll be maybe a lot of people wearing their masks. So there is going to be this the other side of the hole that we're all in right now, and we're all going to come out of it, and hopefully, we'll be changed for the better, and we'll be able to, come together more and really push ourselves into a better society in the future. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entire discussion. I'd love to hear what you are going through personally. Have you lost your job? Are you trying to work on some things that you've always wanted to work on? Make sure you jump on pernosophy.com and leave a comment in this specific episode. You can also jump on Instagram, and you can also hit me up on Twitter at Hayden Perno. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and or subscribe button. That would really help me out in the long term. And I guess that's about it for today. Thanks so much for listening and or watching in, and I'll talk to you soon.